Man, I want to talk about a little topic that we are really going through here in the state of Colorado, man. And this is no way a H video. Um, I know that this video probably will not get circulated the way that it should, but when I say H, you guys know exactly what I mean, man. No hatred to anybody, but we are being faced with a crisis here, man. And as I've seen and as I've spoken to other people, man, this is literally just the testing ground. These sanctuary states are a testing ground, man. Um, this thing is going on here in Colorado, New York, Chicago, and I recently heard about some things that have happened in Florida as well, where these people are starting off. Now, they started off terrorizing their own people who have already been here or who have made this journey with them to the United States seeking asylum, coming to these sanctuary states. And I feel like it is literally just a pool for votes, right? In our community right now in Colorado, man, I'm in Colorado Springs and we've had our issues as well, but we all know that if you've been watching anything nationally or just getting a glimpse of what the internet has been dripping and offering you guys, we've been seeing a lot of this stuff happening in the Denver area and it's spilled over to the Aurora area. Um, a lot of you people have heard how they have snatched up apartment complexes, taken over buildings and things like that. Um, Terrorizing the tenants, demanding rent money, kicking out the property management and the workers that are uh, at those particular sites, man. So it's crazy. I hate to say this. Hey, I hate to say this. Who cares, man? I feel like we're right now experiencing the beginning parts of a civilistic type war. And hold on. Before you actually take that into uh, the deepest context, it is at the deepest context. These people have sought asylum, so now they are essentially a part of our community and a part of our country. If you look up the definition of something like a civil war, it is literally two organizations within the same country fighting to regain power or to swipe power away. And I feel like we are at war right now with individuals who come from slum ridden conditions and prisons. And not to say that we don't have those issues within ourselves, but I feel like the law enforcement and the government takes uh, they've taken slight measures to get those things isolated or placed in certain areas. And what I'm here to tell you right now is that this thing this thing spills over into every community. Even if you think you're safe, you think that you're in a well gated community and things like that. These guys are coming at you from all forces. I've heard of some incidents where these guys are emulating dressing up just like Amazon workers, man. And when you go outside and grab your package, they're right there for you, ready to come into your house and do with you as they please. I've heard of incidents in Chicago where they are on trains with hatchets, having hatchet fights, pulling young ladies into alleys and doing whatever, man. Like I said, I'm trying to keep this as clean as possible, just because I want it to be spread around as much as it can be. I understand that monetization and all those type of things may not occur, but I still want the people that need to hear this, which is everybody, bro. I feel like this is not just a Colorado, Chicago, let's say Illinois, a Colorado, Illinois, a New York, or a Florida thing. This is everybody's thing. As I stated a little earlier, this is something that spills over into every community. And you witnessing it right now is like witnessing other tragic events that you see start off small and isolated, or anything that may have appeared in the U.S. I won't say those things, but how they're isolated incident, and then next thing you know, um, it's a requirement to get this done or a requirement to get that done because it has become something that is so out of control and so rampant that uh, the free people of the United States are captive within their own homes, not just communities, man. You know, I'd say that with the previous issues that we've had with gang violence or gang organizations, some people may have been captive into their communities. But the fear that I'm understanding, and the thoughts that I'm understanding that I have fear of, is that a lot of people will be trapped within their homes, um, facing these type of combatants. I can't stress enough, man. You know what this channel is about. I can't stress enough about being properly prepared and taking firearms training courses and understanding how to safely utilize those different type of tools that are meant to aid you. The Second Amendment is meant to aid you, not to go out and show things off. Even though we have fun in this community, it's not meant to show things off. It's not meant to go out seeking trouble. It's about protecting the ones that you love and said property. And me personally, I care more about the ones that I love. Um, when it comes to property, you can always get that back. I truly don't feel like a life is worth um, anything that I possess. And for me to say that is to say this: I don't feel like your life is worth anything that I possess. So take that as you may. But I will always provide and protect for the ones that I love and anybody who I see that is in trouble, man. You guys know the motto of this channel, which is hold the door open for the next man. It takes nothing to be a gentleman, bro. Um, but this, what they call themselves, TDA, the trans, whatever, trend, um, have just been running rapid down in the community. Um, in Denver area, and I think that it was getting looked over so much because they initially started off uh, like what you see on different documentaries that you may watch in their own community, terrorizing uh, the poverty sections, terrorizing the actual their own same brother and sister, their nationality. They're attacking them. Um, destroying them and degrading them in a way that they would have done in their own countries. And I know that this TDA uh, gang or offset of some sort of cartel is actually the biggest prison gang in Venezuela. I've heard that they've had over 5,000 members. And do you think that they've come here and not recruited other organizations within them, alluding to power? We've seen this you see this all the time, man. Like, I always feel like nothing can happen that hasn't already been demonstrated to us either through uh, past or even uh, video perceptions of things. And I know how that may sound to some people, but literally, when you look at things like Scarface, Tony Montana, things like that, that's essentially what happened at that point in time in Florida, or was a representation of what was going on in Florida with that era in the 19 late 70s and the 80s and things like that, where we opened up the asylum and the countries essentially just dumped every prisoner that they had, essentially cleaning up their country, making their country a better place to live in, and giving us all of the filth that they had. Now, of course, there are going to be good guys, women, children sprinkled into that mix, but there are 22 million um, immigrants, M's, that have sought asylum within this country that did not go through the traditional protocols that um, usually get taken when we accept other people into this land of the free that we actually obtain right now. And we also have to understand that we are providing them with a beautiful area, or a test tube, or whatever you want to say, to culture what they've already been doing in their own country, bro. We have been giving them shelter, money. Uh, they've been getting food stamps, things like that. Who do you think is paying for those things? It's all off of our dime. Your tax money is going to the people that are terrorizing you. And I know good citizens who can't even get any sort of help, veterans who can't even get any sort of help from the government. And these guys are getting um, their licenses instantly. They're getting a place to live, and I heard that they're getting between $9,000 and $15,000. Don't quote me. That's something that I've heard, but I know that we are supplying them with cash money, and with food stamps as well. So, what happens when those things run out? What happens when any of those government assistant aids run out? And I speculate that they'll run out after November, after the election, after the B and K. You guys know who Mr. B is and K are, who need these votes. You know, I'm for Trump all the way, man. We're not gonna make this political, but when Trump was around, man, money flowed. And I know that a lot of you guys saying, well, we still were able to get these allotments and those allotments after the fact. That's because Donald Trump put those things into place and they could not be removed uh, before a certain period of time. I don't want to make this video too long and over the top, man, but you got to remember, man, that police are not gods, they're not immortals, and they're not um, gatekeepers of time. What I mean by that is they cannot show up before a crime happens. I know you. I watched a movie in the past where the police predicted crimes and they arrested people beforehand. That is not the age that we live in right now, bro. So I want to say that the response time to the police is 99% of the time going to be after something happened, and they're just there to clean up the mess and figure out uh, if they can connect somebody else with some sort of crime after it is done. You know, get the criminal off the streets after the fact. So you have to be willing and ready, man, to protect your own family and protect your own selves. Um, a little bit of things that I can say really quick about protecting yourselves, man. Like I said earlier, get some adequate firearms training. Practice awareness at all times, man. Situate yourself in proper areas within uh, restaurants and things like that so that you're able to see different people coming into those areas and giving yourself, your family, and any other individuals the opportunity to defend themselves against any type of wild combatant. We'll just say that. I would also say that if you guys are receiving an adequate amount of Amazon packages, that you actually let them sit on the porch for a little bit, man. Don't be so happy about what you receive that you're willing to run out there instantly, and the individual may still be waiting, lurking at your doorstep or over at your garage or something like that, and victimizes you, man. You definitely don't want something like that to happen to your family. I don't want anything like that to happen to you guys, man. Utilize your doorbell camera if you have one. Utilize your peephole if you have one. I know a lot of people say, I don't have a ring camera. I don't have a ring camera, but I'm always looking out at my peephole anytime that I'm having uh, the doorbell ring, especially when it's unexpected. Most of the time, I know exactly who's coming over my house, and I know exactly when a true Amazon package is actually going to arrive. You should get the updates on your phone. Remember, Warriors, always follow state laws. I'm here in Colorado, so we have a few setbacks, but we also have a few things that push us above other communities. We have the Make My Day, we have the Castle, we have Stand Your Ground. We have a lot of opportunities for individuals to be able to protect themselves if confronted by one of these type of people or any other type of combatant that we normally would face if this wasn't a presence within our community. I remember a time when I would always see neighborhood watch signs in every community. You'll see that little orange sign with that black figure on it with the top hat looking like a detective. And you would even see some communities walking out at nighttime doing neighborhood watch activities. That stopped when I was a youth. I can also say that as I got older, you would see different neighborhoods and communities that would be uh, securitized, if that's even a word, by different segments or a company that they have paid to come monitor the area. I rarely see that as well. I actually have that in my community, and I live in a fairly good area within this Colorado Springs community, and I can say that I've stopped seeing those type of vehicles roll around and monitor the different foot traffic and things like that in our areas. Now I don't know if it's because of different political things that have happened in the past, but I feel like those are not bad ideas to have security within your area, especially neighborhood security that actually lives in that area, that knows the community, that knows the one or two blocks that they may be monitoring, and they know who belongs at each house, and not there to police people, but to um, inform and stay notified of, hey, this is some strange guy coming up to this house, to Mrs. Johnson's house. Hey, this is a strange uh, person coming up here to Mr. Jackson's house. You know, so I think that those things that have been lost within our different communities would be great to be re-implemented today, um, just to give an aid and a push to the safety of our children. That's what it's really all about, man. The safety of our children. Last topic, I swear. And I'm in Colorado Springs. We haven't had much of the interaction with these gangs at the moment, but I can tell you that um, a few months ago, I want to say last month, there were three major gun shops that experienced break-ins in the same fashion, back to back, and the guys went in there and they snatched up a plethora of firearms from these places. And at the time, it was said that they were taking these firearms back down to the Mexico border area to, utilize in those type of combat arenas that they are so used to. But what it's looking like now is that they're actually stealing from us and utilizing those things against us. So not only are they receiving resources from us through our taxes and through our government, being that we are sanctuary areas, we are the testing ground, guys. This is not just these four states that I've said, these four cities and states that I've been talking about, but we are the testing ground for you to observe and you to make better decisions within your community. You know, we are giving them food, we're giving them money, we're giving them shelter, we are giving them access to jobs by giving them IDs and things like that immediately without having to pay or to go through any type of proper protocols that we would have to do as individuals. And now they are taking firearms from our stores, endangering our communities, not going through any of the protocols that us as law-abiding two-way citizens have to go through uh, in order to obtain firearms, and then that waiting period that we have to go through in Colorado, which is 3 days, to actually be able to pick up that firearm. And I'm sure that they're concealed carrying these firearms, and that is also a waiting process that most of us have to wait 3+ months to acquire. So you guys let me know um, down in the comments, what are some precautions that you guys are actually taking to combat yourselves against anything like this? If you've experienced anything like this in your community, if it has spilled over into other cities and states, or if it is just something that you've seen on the news and it's not much of a concern for you right now. But I'm going to tell you right now, brother, it's a concern for everybody. This is a national crisis. This is a CW. I've already said what a CW is. This is a CW for the whole United States, man. And let's go ahead and say this. Like I said earlier, every one of them is not going to be this same type of character. But with 22 million of those guys coming over here in an instance, in an instance, and with them emptying their jails and releasing their prisoners on us, just like Scarface and Tony Montana, how many of those guys do you think are going to go get jobs and are going to be productive citizens in our community? And how many of those guys do you think are going to do what Mr. Tony did? And even if they're not doing it right now, how many of those guys are going to go down that route once those benefits cease? Let me know down in the comments, Warriors, man. It's been a pleasure giving you my thoughts, man. I know it's only worth a penny. I may be playing the smallest violin to some of you guys, but remember, the CW is a everybody's thing. The TDA is a everybody's thing. They're recruiting, they're expanding. Are we going to stand up and fight for our community? Are we going to stay split up as individuals through race? Or are we going to combine together and understand that this is our land that we are fighting for and need to protect through knowledge and through armed forces? I'm out.